What's going on for you and how could I help?
I'm just struggling a lot with the games, like particularly strict ordering. It just been like really hard to like grasp the concept of like the general nature of like how to solve these problems. Like ordering is easy, but strict ordering sequencing, that's been my trouble for the past week.
Right, of course. And how much work have you devoted to this type of logic game? How many games of this type have you done?
This is like the first time I'm exposed to logic games. Like I previously mentioned to you, like in our last meeting a couple months ago, that I started with like logical reasoning. Then I briefly browsed through like no, I started with reader comprehension. I browsed a little bit into logical reasoning, and logic games is where I'm like stuck at. Like the easy questions like hard is easy to grasp. Like I can see it, but like when it comes to like the strict the one with the stricter set of rules, that's where I'm like struggling the most with.
Right, of course. But be patient with yourself, especially if you're just getting started with logic games now. These don't come easy to a lot of people. It takes time. So the fact that
Right.
you're struggling on this new area is not at all unique. I certainly struggled with games a lot myself, and many other students have struggled too, but ultimately gone on to master them. So be patient with yourself and give it time.
Okay. But like let's see, let me just bring up one of the questions that I was struggling with. Like the general setup of the game, like, but I was just like, I'm just like caught in between the crossroads because like every time I open up the book, it gives me a lot of information, which is really great, but like it's just so much words, there's so much material to like digest. It's just like overwhelming to like perceive, like practicing what I read.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're using a few different sources. So combined, there's a lot of theory there. And
Right.
if it's not working for you, then
Mm-hmm.
do the games themselves. You might just need to learn by doing. And then
Right.
looking at explanations afterwards may be helpful. Of course, I have plenty of explanations inside the course that you have access to that you can look at. But
Right.
some people learn better from videos, and some people learn better simply from doing the work and practicing. So that might be what you need.
Yeah, because like I do want to take this exam like in September, but like I like even though it's like so far along that I'm sure like I have more than enough time to like practice and study, but it's just like I'm getting scared because it's just like it is like hard to grasp like the foundation. Like I'm in the foundation is like really important to master certain sections, it's particularly the games. Like for instance, like knowing like the different words and phrases is how to set up like that's like I got that part, but like to set up like how to make sure that I can see the answer for not only just one question but for two questions, and then say knock out as much time as I possibly can with each question. So I'm just like overwhelmed with like am I like I'm putting in the time, but it's just like am I using this time wisely? That if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And any work that you do on games to
Mm,
expose yourself more to them is not wasted. You're getting some value out of it. What I would say is on top of it, if you're struggling with the game and you're not making headway, then look at one of my videos and see if it
right,
shows you a more efficient approach. Then try to redo the game. But if you're reading textbooks and the theory
right,
is just confusing you further, then stay away from what's not working for you, because the LSAT is difficult enough as it is. If there's a technique in some book that isn't clicking for you, then put it aside, focus on the games, focus on the
right.
videos. Then maybe you'll return to the book later and things will click more for you. But for now, go with what's going to give you the most momentum to keep moving forward.
Right, because even though like doing the questions, it gives me a clear understanding like where could have went wrong with choosing like the wrong selection of answer. But like I don't want to just rely on like okay, here's the answer approach. You know, I do want to like utilize some of your approach, but it's just like difficult when I have like all these resources to like navigate through this time. So my question is like, how did you choose like, okay, this is going to be my materials, whatever else is secondary, and this is going to be like my best game plan.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually ended up using mostly just the actual official LSAT prep tests.
Okay.
That was my practice material. And I worked through all the old exams. I redid them several times. And that that familiarity, that exposure over time and reviewing, that's what made it click for me. And I think that's an essential part of anyone's study process. As for using additional resources on the side, it's about whatever clicks for you.
Right. Like, I just like, I don't want to like psych myself out, like getting there, testing, just like being overwhelmed. Like, did I practice enough? Did I study enough? And I don't want to like push myself if I'm not entirely 100% ready. But I don't know if it's like the quarantine anxiety or just like quarantine and outside anxiety that's giving me this secondary thoughts in my head. But it's just like overwhelming when you just have so much material in front of you and it's like, now what?
Well, you've
But
got the
I
study
get what you're
plan,
saying.
right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to limit to myself to studying 3 hours a day because I'm sure, like, if I go over 3 hours, I'm going to start second guessing everything I did for the first 3 hours. So I'm just studying for 3 hours and just stopping at 3 hours so I don't like psych myself out.
Good, good. And I get that it's especially stressful to have not only the LSAT, but the quarantine situation on top of it. So, given that it's a unique time under quarantine, what changes for you as a result of it with regard to your LSAT prep or with regard to your law school journey in general?
It's given me a more in-depth sight of like what programs I may want to go into for law school. Like, for instance, I do, yeah, law school is the main goal, but like I'm also thinking like, what about law school intrigues me, and also just finding that momentum again that I had when I was working at the law firm. Like I was really excited. I was like, this is my future. I'm going to go study. I'm going to go even harder. So just like finding that intrinsic motivation to study and also like concentrate hard enough that the quarantine is secondary, but like this LSAT is my primary concern. And also, I think like having a support group for like studying is also something I'm also looking into. Like, and that's the thing I'm like missing from this prep. I mean, your Facebook page is helpful, but like that one-on-one interperson interaction, that's what I'm missing.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, you've got the intrinsic motivation. You've got, it sounds like, if anything, the quarantine situation gave you more motivation to keep pushing ahead because sounds like you're even more excited about law school as a result of what you've learned.
Right.
And the folks in the course, they can be your community. They can be your study buddies. I'm going to be setting up more study sessions where you can interact with other students directly and have that support system there. So that's another resource available to you inside the course. So keep coming to the classes, keep coming to the coaching sessions, keep coming to all the other Q&As that I'm running. I've got another student orientation tonight. You're welcome to attend, where I'll be covering different material from last time because folks can just watch the previous recordings to get that material. So we're going to keep adding new material to help you jumpstart your prep. And one thing we're adding also on top, as I said, is study sessions where I'm not going to be teaching, but you're going to be learning from each other.
Right. Yes, that would be great. I would really love that very much.
Awesome. Awesome, Robin. Great. Well, what else for you? Any other questions for today?
No, just that solidifying, like, I guess I was like overwhelmed this weekend, but like, why am I not getting this? Why is it not sinking in? And I just want to like touch base with you to like rationalize the study plan and just like rationalize like what is it I'm going through, because it just like I know I'm not the only one that's going through it, and it just feels like right now just like I'm at a stump I'm like at a stop in the road where it's just like, okay, maybe I need to regroup, maybe I just need to give myself time, or just maybe just like it just like inside voices of like negativity, and I just need to like focus more on positive vibes. And that's why I just want to reach out to you so I could like know like, okay, I'm gonna re-strategize of how I'm gonna go study and like just focus on like what's working for me. I mean, I have all the tests and I have all like literally I have like 1 through 70 something on my desktop I could look at. So I'm gonna do that.
Fantastic. Well, how are you feeling now at the end of our call compared to the beginning?
I feel better. I feel like I have a clear understanding of like this is just this is normal, and I also understand that like there's no right or wrong way to go about studying for the LSAT. Like I always thought, like you have to choose this course, that course, and this material, but like everyone has their right to passage. And right now, I'm feeling good, and maybe I do need to try the approach of just like attacking the questions and then going back to theory, or just like practicing the questions and see how I get with that, and then go back and review the materials and like solidify the parts that I'm missing in.
Fantastic. Well, keep in touch, Robin. I'll see you in class soon. Please join tonight as well. And keep in touch. Let me know if you need anything as you move forward.
And thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.